Becky, so they always say you'll hear this ghost train. You're going down this old path, the old Pennsylvania Pinot Railroad from Tunnelton to Livermore.
Mm-hmm.
Do you hear it?
We do.
And they say
Can't see it though.
if you don't get out of the way, it's going to hit you. They say this is supposed to be too like the four gates to hell or something. Or what they don't tell you is there's another railroad track that they moved this one over to that side, and the sound of it coming down this sounds exactly like it's coming at you.
Mm-hmm.
And they say the town was flooded because it was cursed, and it was a witch. They burnt this witch at the stake, and she cursed the town, and it flooded the next day, and everybody drowned in it. But what they don't tell you is this is actually a flood control lake that they built in the 50s, and they actually built it so that...
Didn't they film a movie here?
Yeah, they filmed Night of the Living Dead up there at the cemetery.
Yeah. They didn't even have to hire actors.
No.
It's all real.
We just got people from around here. Turn it on. That's my cousin.
Oh, man.
Oh, God. I like all the duckweed in these little things. There should be some frogs. We avoided the ghost train.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit of history for all you out here at Conemaugh. Now, that is the Bow Bridge Tunnel. Right here. Okay. It's up here. Now, if you're talking about the Bow Bridge, that's right there. Made for flood control after the Johnstown flood of 1889. These bridges all go at an angle. So the whole Conemaugh goes like this, and there's a series of bridges. They run in a straight line across. And that's the tunnel from the late 1900s. Now, if you want to talk about the railroad that actually went across here, even before that, there was a system of canals. This is the first canal in the United States, and to my knowledge, the first tunnel ever built. This is the one from the 1860s and before. I'm going to show it to you. It's kind of neat. There's not much left of it, really. Right here, it most certainly is, though. This section right here. Now you can see the stonework. You see the arch would have been right here and it collapsed. They have these plugged up. This right here is a release valve that when the water goes off, there's another tunnel here and it releases. A little bit of history there for you. Really fascinating when you get down to it. This right here, like I said, is the Bow Bridge Tunnel and the Bow Bridge. Think about how many people, after the Johnstown flood, bodies they found, even years later. It's pretty remarkable, isn't it? They found bodies all the way to Cleveland, in fact, from here. So when you get here and you look, realize that this was all Conemaugh River. An idea that you need to fix a problem that exists. During the Johnstown flood, they had that one tunnel like this that houses piled up on and caught fire. And people that survived the flood actually died because they burned in their houses that were jammed up. And they dynamited it. These were built in the same style for a different purpose. Being at that angle, which is only a couple feet on each side, prevents that. So they built this, the railroad, that went straight through the hill instead of going around. Like that original tunnel that kept going around and meandering. The railroad went across here, went up around that valley. We're not going to do that. We're going to go straight through. They brought in this machine to build this tunnel. This tunnel, a lot like the first one, made for 2 trains to go through. This is also the site of one of the railroad disasters where 2 trains collided right here. Actually, the man that was the engineer on that train died on his own birthday. Awful. This is the tunnel for Bow Bridge. And when they lock this up, at the end of this is a big plug. When they lock this dam up, and they use it for flood control when there's a lot of rain, the water, you won't believe this, but as low as it is out there, will actually get up above the top of this, all the way up the valley for flood control. And that's what they do to try to prevent another flood from happening like that. It makes this a very dynamic area. There's times you come out here on a boat, you launch right here, you're fine, and next time, whole thing's underwater. First time I came here, you've all seen the video. I was here with my dad and my neighbor Billy. And this wasn't clogged up. In fact, this is the first tube. That's the second tube. That's where I did a video. We caught that big fish. I came up here and it was purple. The whole sky was purple. And it was sunrise, because we always come up in the sunrise. Because when the sun comes up, the fishes quit biting. But we got all these perch over here in this area. It's like a forest that's flooded. It's really a bizarre thing to see, but this is the Bow Bridge. And I wanted to, sitting on this ground, it's not the most stable, shall we say. So I want to take some time here. Talk about the history of this bridge. Look at the stonework. Now, when you're underneath it in these arches, it's, you can see where it's falling apart a little bit underneath, but it's 80 feet deep in here. When that train wreck happened and that gentleman passed away on his birthday, what happened right here? The train went over the side. The reason that he passed away, the reason that it was so horrible, was this lake wasn't here. And you figure each one of these tubes goes right to about there on each side. They almost meet. And it's about 60 to 80 feet deep off of there. Pretty amazing. Stonework on this stood the test of time. For well over 100 years, it's been here. And you take that into account. You look at the tunnel and you look at the craftsmanship. You can't help but admire the men that built this. The man that lost his life here. It's something really to put into a thought, you know. You think about, come to these places, you think of history, and put yourself back in that time a little bit. So you can see I'm a good ways down from where the tunnel is. It's down there. A little bit of history here. When you come here and you see this cut, you see how right here it's a little bit deeper and it kind of curves in, and on this side it kind of curves in too. Well, this right here was a lake. It was a little pond that they had for the railroad, that when they'd want to, so all these steam engines needed colder water, and when they were going through, so they have a stop. And this was a lake that they had set up. Right up here, you can see where the original stream flowed down into it. It was very deep. And down at this end, they had a station where the train could refill. For the one in the 1860s that looped around. So when they dug this, they brought a steam-powered machine in through here. And it cut right through that lake. But you can still see the outlines. From about 1901 to 1903, this was cut out. It was very innovative for the time. You could never think, possibly, that men with shovels could do what this machine did. It was like a big thing that just ate right through the mountain. Because of that, you had this whole section. You can see the tunnel down there. you can see how much that's cut up right in through there. So I'll leave you with that video. And great to show you a little bit of history of Livermore, Tunneltown, and this railroad. A lot of people drive right by it, walk it, don't even know it. Should we add one more thing?